Hello and welcome to the 2026 Economic Mobility Informational Webinar. My name is Josh Johnson and I manage the Economic Mobility Grant Program here at the Minneapolis Foundation. I'm joined today by Lindsay Childers, who is a grant administrator at the Foundation. And during our time together today, I will provide an introduction to the Minneapolis Foundation, including our mission and values. We'll then discuss the 2026 Economic Mobility Grant Round, including updates to guidelines, priorities, and organizational eligibility. Next, I'll share a high-level funding overview, including grant amounts and key deadlines, as well as the decision-making timeline. And lastly, my colleague Lindsay will provide a short demonstration on how to access our grant application through our grants portal. If you have any follow-up questions after viewing this webinar, please feel free to email me directly. If your questions require more discussion, we can follow up with a one-on-one call. My contact information, along with Lindsay and our other colleague Takara's contact information, will be available at the end of this presentation, as well as at minneapolisfoundation.org. I will go ahead and share my screen here. As we head into the presenters, again, my name is Josh Johnson. I'm a program officer here at the Minneapolis Foundation. I joined the foundation over 5 years ago, and I manage our economic mobility and climate action grant-making portfolios. Lindsay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Great. So my name is Lindsay Childers. I'm a grants administrator here. I've been here for a little bit over a year. And so I help run a lot of our technical applications. So technical support for applicants and technical support for our review committees.
Thank you. Next, we'll dive a little deeper into who the Minneapolis Foundation is. The Minneapolis Foundation was founded in 1915, making it one of the oldest community foundations in the United States. We cultivate generosity by partnering with nonprofits, facilitating grant making, advancing research and advocacy, and supporting donors who want to make a difference in their communities. Our foundation-directed grant making focuses on equity and justice across 3 priority grant making areas. These areas include education, economic mobility, and the environment. We are committed to moving more resources into the communities most impacted by inequities. The Minneapolis Foundation drives collective action to realize strong, vibrant communities. We bring people and organizations together to listen, learn, and take action on pressing community needs. We support individuals and businesses in expressing their generosity, personally, collectively, and across generations. Our investments reflect both the urgency of this time and the values that guide our work. As you can see here by our values, our strategic framework calls for us to be bold, optimistic, and responsive to the voices of those most affected by challenges in our community. We believe that change is personal and civic participation is powerful. We also believe that creating a more equitable community is a responsibility that we all share. Next, let's dive a little deeper into our Economic Mobility Grant Program. Our Economic Mobility grants support organizations working to build a more sustainable and resilient economic landscape, one where businesses can thrive and individuals have greater access to opportunity. This work is informed by extensive community input and builds on more than 5 years of investments in small business development and key commercial corridors. We're committed to supporting those most impacted by economic inequalities and advancing community-led solutions. With that, our 2026 grant round reflects shifting realities. Recent federal immigration enforcement activity has created uncertainty for many small businesses, particularly those owned by or employing immigrants or people of color. Organizations are reporting workforce disruptions, reduced customer activity, and increased hesitation to seek both technical assistance and capital due to fear and instability. These challenges threaten business stability and slow growth, particularly in communities and along corridors that rely on foot traffic and in-person services. We are also continuing to see organizations navigate a volatile funding and policy landscape, resulting in uncertainty and sharp government funding cuts. Because of all of these reasons, our focus for our 2026 grant round will be supporting 501c3 nonprofit organizations that primarily support small businesses through equitable access to capital and technical assistance. Before we dive deeper, I wanted to set a few basic definitions for terms that you will see throughout our application. For the purpose of this grant round, small businesses supported should have fewer than 40 employees and a gross revenue of $3 million or less. Small businesses, as defined here, are vital contributors to job creation and economic growth across Minneapolis and the inner ring suburbs. These small businesses shape the character of our key commercial corridors, provide essential services, and create pathways to entrepreneurship. Technical assistance and small business supports are comprehensive and culturally relevant business development services that increase the business's readiness, revenue growth, and long-term viability. These may look like business strategy and planning, financial management and capital readiness, or access to procurement and contracting. Expanding access to capital looks like flexible and responsive capital solutions that expand access to financing for small businesses, particularly those facing systematic barriers. This may look like small business loans, direct grants or forgivable grants, alternative financing, or refinancing options. Once we understand those a little bit better, who is eligible to apply? Your organization must demonstrate all of the three requirements shown here. We are looking for 501c3 nonprofits. You must have your IRS designation as a 501c3 nonprofit to be eligible. At this time, we are not looking to fund physically sponsored organizations. 50% or more of your organization's work must serve residents of Minneapolis or the inner ring suburbs. We will not fund organizations that do not demonstrate that they serve residents of Minneapolis and the inner ring suburbs. This is important as your program may be accessible to Minneapolis residents, but unless it's serving Minneapolis residents, we really want you to demonstrate that requirement. Lastly, we're looking for 50% or more of your organization's work to focus primarily on small business supports. We're prioritizing organizations that primarily support small businesses through equitable access to capital and technical assistance. If your organization has met those three requirements, you'll be moving forward, and you will be moving forward to applying. I want to continue to share additional but broad and important information about the grant round. First, we will only consider one request per organization. This is important. Please prioritize your submission. Second, 2025 Advancing Economic Mobility grant recipients are eligible to apply this year if they meet all three eligibility requirements. We will just ask that you complete your final report before any updated grant awards will be distributed. All grants this cycle will be designated as general operating support grants, which will provide flexible, unrestricted funding to support organizations' overall mission, core programs, and administrative expenses. We are also extending our grant period to 2 years to provide additional funding stability. Lastly, organizations awarded funding in 2026 will be ineligible to apply in 2027, as they will still be in an active grant period, as our grants will now have a 2-year funding period. Additional priorities for funding. We will prioritize organizations that provide both technical assistance and equitable access to capital. This is not a requirement, but it is a prioritization. We will prioritize organizations that demonstrate they support entrepreneurs who face systemic barriers. We are also prioritizing organizations that invest in historically underinvested communities and or along key commercial corridors. We've highlighted a few specific corridors here on the screen, specifically to Minneapolis, but we recognize that there are many key corridors across the broader West Metro. A little funding overview for our 2026 Economic Mobility grant cycle. We have approximately $2 million available to grant out. Our average grant amounts will range between $50,000 and $100,000 per year over a 2-year grant period. The maximum grant award over the 2 years will be $150,000. We ask that organizations request what they need. Again, we expect to award between 15 and 30 grants, and we are moving again to that 2-year grant period. The grant period will begin on July 1st, 2026 and end on June 30th, 2028. An interim report will be required after the first year of funding, but additional details will be shared with grantees at a later date. Our application is now open. It opened on Wednesday, April 15th. We hope you have been able to gain access and log in. Application reviews will take place in late May and conclude in early June. Reviews will be completed with the assistance of a community review committee and internal Minneapolis Foundation staff. Community review committees consist of community folks who have lived experience or educational expertise related to the grant program focus area. For this program area, it will be related to economic mobility. We hope to make funding decisions and announcements by late June, concluding with grant disbursements in July. And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague Lindsay, and she will show you a short tutorial on how to access our grant portal and application.
Thank you, Josh. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how you can navigate to our new application portal, how you can register yourself if you haven't applied before, or log in if you have an account with us previously, and then show you how to find the application for this 2026 Economic Mobility Grant. So I'm going to share my screen and get us started. All right. So hopefully y'all can see this. So, oh, no, I haven't shared yet. There we go. All right, so from the Minneapolis Foundation website, you'll be able to navigate to this 2026 Economic Mobility Grant Guideline document. And if you scroll, this gives us a lot of the same information that Josh just shared in this webinar. But if you scroll down to the How to Apply section, and I'll keep going, you can see this application process and deadline. This is also where you can access a preview document if you want to download something and work offline to then upload your responses at a later date. But you can click this online portal or this Apply Now button, and it'll bring you to our online portal. Again, this is a newer portal. We started it in June of last year in 2025. So if you don't know if you have an account with us, or if you want to start an account with us, this is where you would go to start doing that. So you can, if you already have that account, you can type in your email and password and log in, and it'll bring you to that application page. Or if you're new, you can click this register button and enter your first name, last name, and email, hit register. The system will send you an email to confirm, and then you'll be able to log into the system from there. I'm going to pull over an already logged in person. No, let's just do it right away. And so we'll start here. So once you get logged into the system, you'll be able to see previous applications that you've worked on or anything like that. If nothing shows up, that's totally fine. What you need to do first, if you're new to the grant portal, is add your current organization. So you can do that by clicking this change current organization. If this section here is blank, you'll know that that's the first step that you need to take. So once you click add your current, change your current organization. You might have things listed here, but if nothing's listed here, you can click this Add New Organization button and then be able to search in this search bar for any organization that you might be a part of and be applying with. Once you're able to do that, you can click Affiliate Me to this organization. If you cannot find your organization, if your organization is new to the Minneapolis Foundation, if you toggle this button to yes, you'll be able to enter your organization's information right away. So that would be the organization name is required, who your executive director or the authorized executive for your organization is, your IRS status, your address, which will pre-fill when you type in this search address bar. And then you'd hit save, and then you'd be attached to your organization there. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be part of this one here, and this will show us. So to find the grant program, you'll click this Open Funding Opportunities button, and that will bring you to the Economic Mobility Grant Round. This tells you the deadline to apply. If you want to get more information about it, you can click this More Information button. But when you want to start your application, you can hit Apply Now. I'll show you here. Like Josh mentioned, each organization can only submit a single application. And so you'll see that it'll block me from making it because I have one in progress here. But you would hit New, and then it would take you to your application. If you're working in collaboration with other folks in your organization, you'll be able to see the application that other folks maybe have started in your organization. To continue working on that application, you can click down here on this Edit button, and that'll bring you already to your in-progress application. This is a just newly started application, so I'm going to show you something that's slightly different in this application. We have this pre-quiz, and these are those 3 questions around those eligibility requirements that Josh mentioned. So again, you'll need to answer each of these questions in order to get to the application. So if you're able to meet those eligibility requirements and click yes, then you'll be able to access the beginning of the application. You'll notice that many things are required. So you kind of pace yourself as you go. Again, there's that preview document, so you can start your application in advance and then copy and paste your responses into here. At any time that you want to save your progress and return back to your application, you can click this Save My Progress button and then hit the Save button, and it'll return you back to that home page where you'll be able to see your application. All right, so you'll be able to see it right here. At any time, you can click into the application itself, and you can see the status and any kind of pertinent details of that application. And then again, you can go back home and see where you're at with your application. I'll just also point out there's this portal FAQ at the top here, so it could give you some tips and tricks for how to associate yourself to your organization, how do you find a grant application, and then what to do if you need support or technical assistance. Stop sharing there and let Josh bring back up the presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you for that quick tutorial.
Yeah, and I can speak to this one, Josh. So
Absolutely.
the last 2 pages of the application will be doing the uploads that Josh will talk about, the required documentation, and then also this signature page. So make sure that you sign the application, hit submit, and you'll know that you've successfully submitted when you get a confirmation message in the portal, and you'll be sent a confirmation email to the emails associated with the application.
And please be sure that you receive that confirmation email. A few tips and tricks that Lindsay noted earlier, and I just want to mention them before we close out today. We are requiring your most recent or current organizational budget and Form 990. Please submit all of the required documents as PDFs. Lindsay pointed out our preview guide. We do have instructions on how to convert your documents to PDFs on that preview guide, so please use that. Please refrain from inserting links in your documents as it can corrupt them and we're unable to access them. It makes it difficult for our reviewers to review the application in full. And I just wanted to provide a few tips for completing your application in addition to what Lindsay provided. Be clear and concise. We're relying on you to describe how your work impacts the small businesses and communities you serve. Start early and save often. Please start early. Again, use that preview document on our website. It's there as a tool for you to use. And save often. Please use the save feature on the application. Incomplete and late applications will not be accepted. The application will close promptly at 1 p.m. on Friday, May 15th. We will not be accepting any late applications. Lastly, if you have any questions, please contact us. We're here as a resource. Our contact information will be provided on the last slide, and it is also available at minneapolisfoundation.org. Before we wrap up today, I wanted to share a few details about upcoming funding opportunities. The Minneapolis Foundation's core foundation-directed grant making occurs throughout the summer. Our Reimagine Education program will be opening in late spring or early summer, as well as our Climate Action and Racial Equity grant program that will be opening up later this summer. If you have questions about the Climate Action and Racial Equity grant program, please reach out to me directly. With questions about the Reimagine Education grant program, please review our website. I'd also encourage organizations to sign up for our funding opportunities announcement using the link shown on the screen to receive notifications about new funding opportunities when they're announced. Lastly, I'd just like to thank you for spending your time with us today. Again, if you have any follow-up questions about eligibility, program guidelines, or priorities, please feel free to reach out to me directly. If you have questions regarding the portal or getting logged in, please reach out to Lindsay or Takara directly at impactgrants@mplsfoundation.org and include 2026 economic mobility in the subject line. Please allow 1 to 2 days, business days for your response from us as we are quite busy and receiving quite a few questions. So with that, I will thank you and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.